The latter part of this video is rambling and gameplay. If you just want to see the poll choices, skip to the time on screen or click the screen now. There's also a poll link in the description. Hello everyone and welcome to a different kind of video. This is the first ever channel poll. I've reached a bit of a stalemate, not sure what game I want to do next. Couple that with the fact that I'm doing Dark Souls, it's made the decision a bit challenging, so I decided, what better idea than to bring it to you guys. I mean, you're the ones who watch the videos, I might as well make it something you want to watch. That's how that works. So we're going to do that. I have a list here and I'm going to run through the options. First things first, I'm going to list off the 8 options, so if you don't want to listen to me ramble on for like 15-20 minutes, here's the 8 options. So the 8 options are Metroid Fusion / Super Metroid, which that's going to be a separate poll if that wins. There's going to be a second poll deliberating which one of those I play, or I might just decide that probably. Second, quickies. I have a number of roguelite games. Roguelike, not roguelite. I have a number of roguelite games on Steam that I have the option to do. Quickies would be 5 to 15 minute videos, which are basically just highlight reels of that run. That would pretty much be the entirety of the video. Would just be anything interesting that happens in that run. It'd probably be a one life run, so some of them would be 3 to 5 minutes, because it's just the entire run, because I died really quick. Some of them would be 30 minutes edited down to 10 to 15, depending on interesting stuff that happens. It's, you know, up in the air. Option number 3 is Shaman King Master of Spirits. I made reference to it in the Castlevania Aria of Sorrow LP. Master of Spirits is a Shaman King game, which is sort of a Castlevania clone. But I played the game a pretty substantial amount as a kid, relatively familiar with it, and not a lot of people know about it, so I wouldn't mind, you know, having a proper Let's Play of it. Option number 4 is Gunpoint. I got this on Steam not too long ago. Found it a very charming game. But the problem is, it's not very well known. The people who do know it generally really enjoy it. It's also got the bonus that, like the Metroid games, it's a pretty short game, which means it would blend very well with Dark Souls. Let's see, option number 5. We're on 5, right? I don't number good. Anyway, option number 5 is Donkey Kong Country. Or for the uninitiated, Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo. I'd do the Super Nintendo, not the Game Boy version, because the Game Boy version looks blech. I played another game I played a lot as a kid, and I really enjoyed it, and I kind of want to do sort of what Proton John did with Yoshi's Island. I'd like to go back through the game, see if it's actually as good as I remember. Option number 6, Half-Life 2. Half-Life 2, I've heard a lot of good things about the game. I've seen a little bit of it, but not the entirety of the game. And I wouldn't mind playing it. The problem is it's uncharted territory, and you saw how that went with Final Fantasy 3. Did not go so well. Didn't go well at all. So, yeah, not good. But I don't know. If I were to do Half-Life 2, I'd play through most of, if not the entirety of the game in advance. The other issue with Half-Life 2 is it's a lengthier game. It's not huge, but it's definitely not Metroid level short. I don't know how that would blend with Dark Souls. So, option number, what are we on, 7? I think we're on 7. Maybe I skipped a number. I don't know. Future me will correct me. Whatever. Next option, Chrono Trigger. This is sort of a lesser option. I'm not expecting this one to win, but I've heard, like Half-Life 2, I've heard a lot of good things about Chrono Trigger, and I've kind of wanted to play the game. So, I wouldn't mind doing that. And then sort of option number 7 is Pokemon Fire Red. I'm really familiar with the Pokemon games from childhood. And I've been playing Fire Red a little bit in my spare time. I've enjoyed it. But, again, the issue with Dark Souls is that it's a long game. I don't know how that would blend well. I mean, that'd mean I'm playing 2 RPGs, and I know several of the people who watch my videos as it stands, they hardly have enough time for the videos already, let alone with me running 2 RPGs. That means, most likely, because I'd want to break up the monotony with the quickies as well, that would most likely mean Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 30 minutes of Pokemon. Saturday and Sunday, 2 hours of Dark Souls. Tuesday and Thursday, 5 to 15 minutes of quickies. For one, I don't know if most of you guys can keep up with that. I certainly can't keep up with that. I'm having a hard time keeping up with the 2 hours of Dark Souls on the weekend as it is, especially with that debacle with episode 2. So doing Pokemon on the side would be a real problem, potentially. So, you know, yeah. But yeah. And then sort of alternate option, well, the primary option, Portal 2. I just did Portal pretty recently. I intended to do Portal 2 after, but A, I haven't downloaded Portal, and B, I haven't checked to see if it works on my computer with Fraps. So, yeah. It might work, but my biggest concern is that it's going to really tax the PC. Because Portal 2 is bigger than Portal 1. It also looks nicer. There's a lot less low-quality graphic with it. So, I don't know if Fraps is going to be able to handle that. I don't have a gaming PC. So, yeah, I'm not sure if that's going to work, which is part of the reason the poll's going on, is because I don't know if the computer's going to be able to handle that. Yeah. So, those are the options. Fire Red, Fusion/Super Metroid, the quickies. Portal 2 is the primary option. Shaman King Master Spirits. Well, I already covered Super Metroid. Gunpoint, Donkey Kong Country, Half-Life 2, and a Chrono Trigger. So there's going to be a link to a poll in the description below. Click on that, make your decision. Oh, glad that's over with. So the reasoning for most of these. Like I said, Pokemon Fire Red, played a lot as a kid, and I have a pretty long history with the Pokemon games. I played Fire Red, I played Crystal before that. I played, well, not for long, maybe like 3 hours, because I had a cousin who owned it on a Game Boy Color. I played, I believe, both Sapphire and Emerald, if I remember correctly. And then I owned Platinum for a while, and I think Pearl for a little bit before that, but I gave that to a friend. Or I may have borrowed that from a friend, I don't remember. I think that was it. I think I borrowed that from a friend. And then I bought Pokemon White shortly after it came out. And that was where my adventure with Pokemon ended, because I kind of got disenchanted with the franchise after Black and White. So, not that they were bad games, they were just kind of repetitive. Also, I was playing on them on a DS as opposed to an emulator. I've had a much better time with Fire Red, because I can fast forward. You would be amazed how much more interesting that makes an RPG when you can fast forward through the grinding. Oh my goodness. When you have to do that in real time, it's a lot less fun. Ha! Yeah, as for the Metroid games, Prime is also kind of an option, but that's probably for a later date. The issue with Prime is, unlike the 2D Metroids, Prime can't be beaten in like 3 hours. Prime is a much longer game. I believe my completion time, the first time around, was 10 to 12 hours. It took me a while. And I haven't played Prime in a while. So, that would be a mix of uncharted territory and a really long game. Couple that with the fact that I'm playing Dark Souls, and it's got the same problem that Fire Red has, in that it's long. As for Fusion and Super Metroid, well, it's kind of mixed. Fusion, I generally hear, is the less favorited Metroid game. Super Metroid's kind of everyone's favorite Metroid game, which is part of the reason I wouldn't mind playing that one. Also, I have a pretty good history with Super Metroid. I've beaten it like 3 times. 2 or 3 of those have been 100%. But there are some design decisions, specifically involving two bosses in the game, that I really love in Fusion. And personally, I think as far as like the atmosphere of the game, it's much more interesting than Super Metroid. It's also a little bit newer, so that helps. Yeah. As for the quickies, I'm not entirely sure if those would be a pick in and of themselves. The idea was basically I started playing some roguelike games. Specifically, I bought Magicite recently, and I really enjoyed it. And I was like, I want to play this for the channel, but I don't want to just do half an hour of me playing Magicite. That'd be boring, especially because this game takes pretty good focus. So, that wouldn't make for a very interesting video. How can I implement this? Well, what I could do is one-life runs. There's a lot of, like... And part of the thing with the quickies, the roguelike games, is... those would make better streaming games, for sure. But the problem is, I don't stream yet. Emphasis on yet. I do have a Twitch channel. If you want to go follow me, you can, but there's no videos yet. Not much of a reason to subscribe. Also, you have to pay $6 to subscribe to Twitch. So, some people don't like that. But yeah. That's not saying you have to subscribe to me to see the Twitch streams. It just means that, you know, it's a support thing. Also, subscribers usually get special bonuses with Twitch stuff. Like, I know Proton John has a bunch of special emotes for people who subscribe, and every month you subscribe, he gets a notification for it, and he does a little congratulatory egg thing during his streams when you subscribe, so that's cool. But yeah, I don't have any of that set up. Mostly because I don't think I have good enough internet to stream. Not yet. The internet's very meh. So, that's kind of a problem. Thank you, phone, for being a dick. Going off during that recording. Anyway, yeah. The roguelikes would make better stream games, but I don't stream, so I was like, well, how could I do this for the YouTube channel? I could make little 5 to 15 minute one life videos that are just highlight reels. That's a good idea. Let's do that. So there you go. Portal 2, I already pretty much went over. Like I said, I wanted to do the Portal games because I really love the Portal games and I bought them recently. But I don't know if Portal 2 is going to work, which is why it's the one that's kind of up in the air. If I can get Portal 2 to work, that's going to be the next LP. That's definitely going to be the next game I do. Because I just finished Portal. Why would I not do Portal 2 next? The only other thing I would do with Portal 2 is wait a year, and on the anniversary of when I started Portal, I'd start doing Portal 2. But, I'd rather just do them now. Especially if Portal 3 comes out in the future. Then I could be like, yeah, Portal 3, I can do that! So, that'd be fun. Anyway, another sort of option is Don't Starve. I have a friend, he knows who he is, he's probably watching this video because he's subscribed to me on YouTube. He plays Don't Starve on PS4, and he'd considered playing it on PC, but he doesn't have any friends that play it on PC. And I was like, I have it on PC, and I have Don't Starve Together, and he's like, really? And I was like, yeah, if you want to get Don't Starve Together, we could probably play it. And he'd be like, and he's like, oh yeah, that'd be cool. You should totally do that. So, since you're probably watching this video, I have officially abducted you in the case that we play Don't Starve Together. We're doing an LP, so I hope you're ready for that. Yeah, I could probably convince him to do an LP. I think he'd probably be stoked for it, if we can find the time to do it. I imagine he'd enjoy it. So, not super worried about that. The issue is, again, Don't Starve, pretty big game. I don't know if I want to tackle that in tandem with Dark Souls. There's also the fact that I haven't played Don't Starve in a while, and I haven't played Don't Starve Together at all. So, the two of us would probably both have to be pretty acquainted to playing it co-op before. Thank you, dogs. God, everything's being an asshole today. My phone's going off, my dogs are barking. Oh my goodness. Jeez. Anyway, yeah. I could probably do that. but the issue is we'd have to get used to playing Don't Starve, which, you know, I'm okay with. Don't Starve is a fun game, I enjoy it. I also considered doing a unique little video of the Screecher mod Halloween last year, but it wasn't really relevant anymore, so I decided against it. I kind of wish they'd come out with another thing like that, because I'd love to do that for a Halloween video. That'd be cool. What else? Oh, Shaman King Master Spirits. Again, kind of went into this one. Played that a lot as a kid, because I had a Game Boy Advance as a kid. Enjoyed the game, but I didn't really know what was up with it. Now I know that it's a Castlevania clone, and I kind of want to compare it to Castlevania. Not to mention, I don't see many, if any, videos of that game on YouTube. I don't know. It's sort of like Dino City with JonTron. The game may have just, like, crash-landed in my backyard one afternoon. I don't know. Because I haven't heard much about it. Other than it's a Castlevania clone. There's, like, a small handful of people that I've heard of mention it before. That's it. And none of them are big YouTubers. At all. It's like the occasional forum blurb when I look up Shaman King Master Spirits. I see like 1 or 2 people who are like, oh yeah, I remember that game. So, again, I already went over Super Metroid Gunpoints. I bought, I believe for Christmas, or shortly after Christmas. Played through it in, let me check my time, 3 hours. Very short game, but also amazingly charming. I loved the game. It's got a very interesting mechanic that I would get into when I LP'd it. When I LP it. I'm gonna do this game at some point. It's really fun. And the game is very snarky and clever. Just for kind of a bite of how clever it is, you can tackle guards in the game because you're a spy. And you punch them to knock them out by left-clicking. If you continue to punch them, the game gives you a variety of little text box pop-ups referring to the fact that you're punching them. For example, if you punch them, I think about 10 times, a pop goes up, he's unconscious, you can stop now. And if you keep going, it goes, Jesus. So, yeah, the game's very clever, and kind of fourth wall breaky in that regard. So, that's pretty fun. Donkey Kong Country, like I said, Yoshi's Island with Proton John, basically. I played the game as a kid. I have fond memories of it, but I haven't played it in years. And I wouldn't mind going back to it and seeing if it's actually as good as I remember. So I'd be okay with that. And I'd probably continue to play 2, especially because 2 is considered the best of the franchise. Most people are like, oh yeah, Donkey Kong Country 2 is amazing. I've seen more than a couple LPs pop up of that. And then Donkey Kong Country 3, people are still generally like, yeah, maybe not as good as the first 2, but still really good. So yeah, Half-Life 2, again, went into it a little bit already. I played a little bit of it, but I'm not super familiar with it. It would mostly be uncharted territory. But I wouldn't mind playing the game. Let me fix my microphone. And I'd like to see how things go, especially because there's a number of internet references from Half-Life 2. So, there's that. Mirror's Edge was another one I spitballed for a while, because I own Mirror's Edge, but I haven't played it. I haven't even downloaded it. Mostly because I just haven't had the time. But Magicite would even more so be uncharted territory than Half-Life 2, because I've played a few hours of Half-Life 2. I actually had a failed recording. I was gonna Let's Play it before, and then I decided against it, and I moved on to, I believe, Castlevania? I think that's what I was gonna do before Castlevania. Anyway, Aria of Sorrow was sort of the nail in the coffin as to why I decided against it. But Mirror's Edge would be even more so, because I've never played Mirror's Edge, and I've seen very little gameplay of it. I've just seen little cuts, so I know that it's a first-person parkour-y game, and that every important area you go to is red. That's about it. And then Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger I was interested in because it's another one of those games. I've heard very good things about Chrono Trigger, but I've never played it. There's also the fact that Proton John's running thing is that if there's ever an RPG that he would either let pass on a stream or LP on his channel, it would be Chrono Trigger, because it's so different than other RPGs. When I first heard that, I was like, oh, I might have to check that out. Because I do enjoy some RPGs, but there's not that many I'm into. Chrono Trigger seems a little bit different, which is part of the reason I took an interest in it. But again, same issue as with Half-Life 2 and Mirror's Edge, it's uncharted territory. I have never played Chrono Trigger at all. I've seen very small clips of it, and that's it. The most I know about Chrono Trigger is the monster thing that screams, because the Grumps mentioned it a long time ago. That's about it. Also, I know there's time travel involved. I think that's it. So, yeah. And I had a number of smaller things spitballed around. There's a couple of Wii games I tossed around. I own Mario Galaxy 2, but I don't own the first one. I own Mario Kart. What else? I tossed around Paper Mario for a bit, but decided against it for the same reason as Child of Light. It's an RPG and it's pretty lengthy. I own Majora's Mask, but again, Dark Souls, so I don't think I want to do a 3D Zelda in tandem with it. I don't think I want to do a Zelda game at all yet, because the Zelda games are usually pretty long. And if I were to do a Zelda game, the first one I'd probably do is, I think, the Game Boy version of A Link to the Past. I don't know. Otherwise, maybe Wind Waker HD when I have a Wii U. That's about it. Not big on Ocarina of Time. Everyone's like, oh man, Ocarina of Time's the best Zelda game ever. And I'm like, I like a lot of other Zelda games better. I like Wind Waker better. Can't say I like Skyward Sword better. Skyward Sword, nope. I honestly like Twilight Princess better than Ocarina of Time. I found it more interesting. Mostly because Midna, but But yeah. I like Majora's Mask, but really just because it's the darkest of the Zelda games, except maybe Twilight Princess. Minish Cap is another one I enjoyed. Played that a little bit as a kid on the Game Boy Advance. Actually, no, that's a lie. I got it with the 3DS Ambassador program, because they did that a while back. I got a 3DS near launch, and because of the sale weirdness and stuff, Nintendo did the Ambassador program, where they released, I believe it was 10 NES games and 10 Game Boy games, exclusive to ambassadors. So yeah. Another one I spitballed for a bit, speaking of the Ambassador Program games, was Wario Land 4, because that's another game. Played a lot as a kid, came out on the Ambassador Program, and I was like, oh man, sweet, I haven't played this game in years. I'm gonna play it. I started playing it, and I was like, oh man, this game is actually really good. Huh. Alright. So yeah, played a lot of that. I considered that one for a bit. I might add that one to the poll as sort of a secret option. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I'm still deciding. I would like to do Wario Land 4, but again, the chronology issue, I prefer to play games in order, and I've never played the first 3 at all. I've seen blurbs of Wario Land. That's it. But yeah. Was there anything else? Oh, right. Skyrim was on the list for like 10 minutes, and then I was like, no, not Skyrim. Because I saw Steven Play's LP of Skyrim, and it's like 250 videos long, and each one of those is 30 to 45 minutes. Because Bethesda RPG. Like, if you're not acquainted with the Bethesda RPGs, one, what's wrong with you? Two, oh my god, they're really long. They're really long. Like, I really want to play Fallout 4, but if I were to play Fallout 4, the channel would die. Because I'd have no time to do anything else. Just literally no time. Which is a bit of a problem. And Skyrim's kind of the same way. Like, if I were to do Skyrim would be going for almost a year, 2 years. You know, the only way I'd be able to do Skyrim is I'd have to put serious restrictions. Like, I'd have to be like, alright, we're just doing main storylines and factions, which means Dark Brotherhood, Companions, the Blades, Thieves Guild, who else? The Civil War, and I guess the DLC factions, so Dawn Guard / Vampires, what else? Oh, Mages College, College of Winterhold, Dragonborn DLC. Like, you have no idea how much time I've put into that game. None whatsoever. On PC alone, because I own it on both PC and PS3, on PC alone I've put in 72 hours. And I have played hardly any of the PC version. Very little. I've played probably 5 times more of the PS3 version. That gives you an idea of how much I've played this game. Upwards of 400 hours. Yeah. Skyrim is not a short game. Not at all. Fallout 4 isn't either. Fallout 4 is very big. I actually like Fallout 4 more than Skyrim, mostly because they revamped the level up system, and it's really cool, but that's a rant for another day, specifically when I have Fallout 4, and maybe LP it, or do a couple videos on it. Probably wouldn't LP it for the same reason as Skyrim. It would go on for way too long. Oh my goodness, I'm running out of breath. I know I tossed around Super Meat Boy for a bit. I actually mentioned that a while ago. I was like, oh, I'll do a playthrough of Super Meat Boy. Problem with that is, Super Meat Boy, if you're not familiar with it, not an easy game. It's a very difficult game. It's very not easy. Like, not. Ed McMillan tends to be a bit vicious when it comes to game difficulty. I've noticed that, because Super Meat Boy and Binding of Isaac are both very, very difficult. They also involve a lot of blood, and a lot of death. Just blood and death everywhere. So, yeah. So I spitballed Super Meat Boy for a while, and then was like, I can't beat that game. I don't think I've even made it past World 3 on this game, so... yeah. I considered Secrets of Grindia for 5 minutes, and then I was like, no, it's in beta, I don't want to do it till it's finished. Because otherwise I'd have to come back to it like every month when they add a new segment and do a video on it. I don't really want to do that. I'd rather just play the whole game when it's finished. So, But Secrets of Grindia is good. If you like top-down Secret of Mana-esque games, go play Secrets of Grindia. It's really fun. Go support the developers. It's a clever game. Not quite as clever as Gunpoint. I still consider that to be one of the more witty games of recent history. Like, it's up there with Portal 2, which is saying a lot, because Portal 2, though. Like, Portal 2. But yeah, I think that's it. Oh, a little bit more detail about the roguelike quickies. I think regardless of what I LP next, quickies are going to be a Sunday thing from now on. Every Sunday there's going to be a 5 to 15 minute video of a roguelike quickie, be it Binding of Isaac, Risk of Rain, Rogue Legacy, or Magicite. One of those 4. They might cycle out. I might do a lot of a game for a while and then switch to a different game. Like, do one of them every Sunday for like a month, and then the next month change games. I might do that. So, yeah. I'm gonna do that, probably. But yeah, the quickies are gonna be a Sunday thing. They're definitely gonna be a thing. It's just a question of whether those are gonna be weekly videos for a while, or whether those are gonna be just Sunday videos. Which I'm not quite sure about. Those might be weekly videos at least till I finish Dark Souls 1, because Dark Souls 2 is a bit shorter. I don't know. So, kinda depends. But yeah. I might also do some videos on arcade mode of Secrets of Grindia, as far as the quickies go. Because Secrets of Grindia has a roguelike arcade mode, which is also really cool. In fact, that might make an even better 5 to 15 minute video, because those would take 5 to 15 minutes, because I'm bad. Not good at the game. Yeah, that's gonna be it. If there's any more gameplay going, which there probably isn't, because this is a half hour already. But in the case that there is gameplay still going, I will leave you to watch the gameplay here, and I will see you guys in the next video.
Yeah.